Well, Claudia, gracias por venir.
Gracias por la invitación.
Entonces, cuéntanos qué es esto de los ranchos.
Esto empezó hace 3 años. En mayo empezamos a recibir cartas de que cerráramos todos los negocios. We had to shut down our businesses. We got letters and we just woke up. We all got up, all the rancho owners, and started fighting back.
Letters from who? From the county?
From the Riverside County, telling us to shut down all our businesses, to bring down all our marketing, to take down everything we had for social media, websites, whatever we had, bring it all down, shut it down. We didn't have the right to have a business as a rancho, an event center.
What was like the reason behind that?
The reasoning was that they were going to change the law, the 348 law, and they were only going to let us have 4 events at our property, and that was it, a year.
4 events per
4
year.
events. But the law that when we all bought our property, it indicated, and we interpreted that it said, any event under 200 people, you can have unlimited events. And that's why we all had event centers, right? We had all the ranchos that you know of.
So events, you mean like quinceañeras and weddings and todo eso?
Like private events,
Yeah.
right? Not like public
Not
events.
public,
Those
yeah.
we know that you can't have those. Obviously, it's very clear now. But just private events were like, nope, no more, only 4 and that's it. So that's when we, honestly, like I started crying. I couldn't believe it. They're like, no, the law's gonna change in July. Like, that's it. And then I just called every TV station, every radio station, everyone I knew, and I told everybody on social media.
And you started this movement. What's the movement called?
Ranchos and Vendors United.
Ranchos and Vendors United. And the initial phase, getting the movement together, and then you had to make an appeal to the Riverside County, or how did the process work on that?
So the vote was going to happen like July 19th of 2021. And 3 days before, we had already made a big impact on social media. We had thousands of people posting that the county was going to shut down all our quinceañeras, our weddings, our events, our ranchos. And at that point, Supervisor Victor Manuel called and told me, cancel all the buses, cancel all the people that are going to the vote to Riverside. We're going to stop the vote, and we want to meet with the community and talk to you and help you guys. So I said, okay, well, let's meet. And we met August 6th of 2021.
With Manuel Perez, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this affects so many businesses because it's not just the rancho. So you're saying, like, as a rancho owner, people are like, oh, well, you can't throw events, but it affects every single vendor, the hairstylist, the guy that does the chairs, the videographers, photographers. Just there's so many businesses that get affected. And a lot of times, for us, like, we do videography for special events, weddings and stuff. So those are some events that we look for because they're well paid. People invest into their once in a lifetime experience. You're creating a relationship, you're getting a wedding or a quinceañera. Families save 15 years for this special event.
Absolutely.
And also you already had people booked, right? Because you're usually booked like a year in advance.
A year, 2 years. A lot of the ranchos had at that point, we were all devastated, right? Remember this, the ranchos are not just, my rancho. Like I always say, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than Rancho 51. This is our community, our people, our familia, our quinceañeras, our bodas. Somos todos, somos la familia, nuestra cultura, nuestras tradiciones. Lo que iban a hacer shut down, iban a hacer a nuestras tradiciones. That's what they were shutting down. And that was very painful. And it wasn't just like me breaking down because of my business that absolutely hurt me, but it hurt me more as a community member to know that they were going to do that to all of us.
And what was the reasoning behind the shutting down? Why out of nowhere did they want to pass this law? What was the argument?
The write-up, what they said was that they wanted to control the noise, the trash, and basically control events in these large areas because there was a lot of events happening during Coachella, throughout the whole time basically, and they were complaining about that. But honestly, with quinceañeras and bodas and all our parties, there's really never issues because they're all family-based, they're private events. It's very different from those parties that go on until 6, 7 in the morning, but those are not our ranchos. Those are different kind of events.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. It's the tios, the abuelas, people travel from Mexico, from all over just for a special event. But who did it affect? It was just ranchos in all Riverside County or just in Coachella Valley, or how does that?
So
who
here
was gonna
comes
affect
the
this?
sad part. The law changed for everyone in the Riverside County. There's 5 districts, right? So there's ours. There's like Temecula. There's different areas. There's anyways, there's 5 districts. I know for a fact that the Temecula district got hit really hard, and they had to shut down close to 100 ranchos. So I know that people were calling me like, hey, do you want to buy my chairs? Do you want to buy my tables? I mean, it was devastating to know that they were going through that. The only difference is that in Temecula, they didn't unite like us. Here in the eastern Coachella Valley, we united.
District 4, right?
Right, District 4, we united. And because of that, they didn't shut us down. And because Victor Manuel Perez helped us and said, on August 6th of 2021, he said, no more multas, continue. As long as you guys do events, private events under 200, sigan, que sigan. So that's what saved us. But other places, like in Temecula, shut down. And it's very sad, but I'm so glad we united as a group, we fought for our rights.
And right now, so it's been 2 years since the fight started, and then right now it's 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And right now it's they're getting ready for the final vote, right?
Yes.
The official decision is going to happen.
Yeah. So about, I want to say 3 to 4 months, we started working with the planning department from the Riverside County. Some of the rancho owners with the planning department and the lawyers and the whole team to create a fair ordinance for the ranchos. That way they created something just, right? So trabajamos 3 meses o más con el condado para que creamos algo justo para que los ranchos puedan tener permisos so we can have permits.
And I feel like at the end of the day, they just wanted to get a cut. Like they wanted to be more involved so you get more permits. And because before, so like say you own a rancho and you want to host a wedding. So you could just host a wedding. That's it. Like no questions asked. And now after this bill gets passed, you're going to have to get a permit, or how would that work? Would you just continue to work as normal? Is there going to be some changes?
So the way it's going to work is that if you want to continue in business, that means marketing and like having an actual business, you need to pull a permit. After, I believe it's going to be sometime in November. Once the bill passes, once everything passes, it's going to be maybe in August or September. The point is that once it passes, then if you don't have a permit, you will get fined, you will get shut down, you will have really huge consequences. And that was told to us by Supervisor Victor Manuel, because now the opportunity is there. The ordinance or the law that is going to be passed, God willing, June 25th, that's our goal, is going to be a lifetime law for the land of the rancho. So that means it's a one-time permit that you will never have to pull again.
Oh, that's sick.
Once you pull that permit, you asked if like would they want to cut or whatever. I don't know the behind scenes because I wasn't there in those meetings why they did it. All I know is that they want to focus on having everything to be safe for our community or for the ranchos. And they're going to go through the process of making sure there's like an exit, an entrance, if there's a fire, things like that. And they're making it to some point reasonable, but it's still going to cost money, but it's going to be a one-time charge. So that I think it's at least it's fair in that sense, because once you get it, that's it,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And so how did you get in? When did you get your rancho? How did that start? Let's get back to the beginning.
When did I buy my ranch? We bought it in 2018, about 7 years ago, something like that. And yeah, it was like a dream to have this property, because in our goals and our business plan was to do the camping for Coachella and also do the events for our community.
Yeah, because you do festival campgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah, so how did the idea for festival campgrounds come out?
I was invited to this campground that was taking place like on 62nd Street. I was invited to that campground, and I realized, my husband and I looked at each other, we're like, everyone that is doing something is from out of town. Like, why can't the locals do something like this? You know, they come in, they make the money, they take it, and then it's done, right? Like, why can't locals create something like this? We own the land. Like, at that time, we didn't own the land, but we could, right? We had family that owned land. So we did a run test at my in-laws, and we created a campground. It was very successful. And then the next year, we created a whole, we bought the property after that, like 6 months later. And then it all became a reality because we just really focused on that.
And then giving that experience, we've been doing it for 3-4 years. How long has it been?
It's been going on for the 7 years, but 2 years were off because of COVID.
No, pero the festival campground.
Oh, the festival campgrounds, yeah. So we started, the year 2019 was the first year we started. So it's about, I think, 6 years, but maybe now only.
It's kind of,
because of COVID, those like 4 years maybe. But yeah, it feels like you know, it's been a lot. It's been a roller coaster, right? Like.
And even then, you told me, you previously mentioned, because it's hard to market these kind of services around the Coachella Festival or other festivals because they have so many rights when it comes to the names, right?
Oh, yeah.
The name of Coachella is so, they come down on anybody trying to use that.
Right. Our name originally, it was Coachella Campgrounds, and now it's Festival Campgrounds because they try to sue us, the Coachella, what is it, the like Golden Boys?
Yeah.
So it's okay. We just changed it to Festival Campgrounds. We kept going, and now we have like, you know, an amazing business.
And then I saw like, I've been there a few times, recording, we done some videos, promos and stuff. But you get people from everywhere, Germany. How's your experience? Did you go to Coachella in like the years past, like when it was first starting up? Or when's the first time you went to Coachella?
Yeah, I went to Coachella many years ago when it was like, I remember it was like you can see the grass and there was so much space and it seemed so much more calm. Many, many years ago, probably like 15 years ago that I went you know, to it. And things have definitely changed. I have not gone since we have our property. I used to go for business as a designer. They would send me for inspiration. But after that, now acquiring our property, we're just so busy with, you know, taking care of our campers.
And you get people from all over the world?
We get people from all over the world. We get people from Korea, from Barcelona, from Italy, everywhere. And the beautiful part is that we have, like this last Stagecoach, I think we were at 80% return rate.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Huge.
So the same people came back.
The same people come back and more, and they bring their families. So they're definitely enjoying it. Mm-hmm.
And then what kind of experiences do you bring to people besides the camping? So for those that don't know, it's like, so you offer the campsite and then you do massages and yoga sessions and food vendors, and there's a pool.
We have, basically, we're like a resort where you can have, you know, a great experience. Where you can be at the same level as everyone else, right? You get to enjoy that energy. Everybody's going to the festival. That's the difference between a campground where a hotel, where you can like actually meet people and talk to people because everybody's interacting. We have the yoga, we have the slushies, we have the beauty bar, we have the massages. We just have a really cool, like, honestly, like a family experience where everybody ends up kind of knowing each other. Have the shuttle where, you know, everybody's safe going back and forth. So it all works out.
The shuttle system's cool because you give people rides. And then you do that, like, you said, how many times does the shuttle go back and forth?
As many as they need, as long as they, you know, they call us, we'll have somebody to help them.
So it's a couple of drivers on call. Just ready.
Exactly.
Or you're the one driving right there just waiting for a phone call.
Well, we have drivers because I have to be at the front desk because everybody needs something, let me tell you. It's like a hotel. So, but it's an amazing.
And how's your experience working those, from the first year you did the festival campgrounds to now? Like, you've been learning a lot more about like hospitality and how all that shit works. So.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, we've had 99.9 of the people are so chill, like super calm. And then there's that 1%, right? But that's part of any business, right?
Yeah.
You deal with it. It's been fun. People are, we tell them, have all the fun you want in Coachella and Stagecoach, come back in peace, We always have taco nights for them at night. And we all use local businesses here. So from like 10 to 4 in the morning, we'll have taco night. So everybody can eat and then they go to sleep,
Yeah.
sin hambre.
No, that's cool. I actually haven't been there during the festival. I think I've only been, I went there like, it was 2013, like
You
the
did
Friday.
that video también.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've done the before and after I've been
Yes.
there, but I've never been like during the main festival
Well,
at night.
you need to go.
I know I gotta.
You need to go. During
Gotta do that
during the night
experience.
is just like tacos. There's like, we don't have a party. We just have, our property is the property where you just relax. Because the party is at Coachella Festival
Yeah.
and then at Stagecoach.
I just don't know how these people do it.
I know,
I
3
leave
days.
12, 1 a.m. I'm like, I'm just trying to go home.
I
And then
know.
these people are like, where's the after party? They're partying till 6
Yeah.
a.m., 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some people go too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, and then so your business, so you have that, and then you guys have a date farm from
Mm-hmm.
in the same property as well. So you guys, like, how's that business?
We have about 600 palm trees.
It's awesome.
We have about 250, 60, close to 50 to 60,000 pounds that we produce every year.
Oh, that's
Uh-huh.
how much does one palm tree produce a year?
250 pounds.
One palm tree?
Approximately. One palm tree, yes.
Man, that's awesome.
But not all the palm trees harvest, give us fruit every year. So we approximately harvest about 50,000 pounds a year. But it's a very difficult market. And that's why a lot of the ranchos, most of the ranchos have date palms, but a lot of the ranchos can't cover their expenses with their palm trees. So that's why a lot of the ranchos have the event centers like
Yeah.
us, because you have to have different businesses to cover these massive,
season.
overheads, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, like 1 pound they can pay you out 80 cents, so it does, and then you have to pay the employees. So no sale.
Yeah.
Like con los dátiles no sale unless you're retail. And when you're retail, you have to really put that whole like
Marketing
marketing
side,
and the whole
branding,
branding.
it's
And
a whole
we
new-
tried it during COVID and it was great. But then as we bought our big refrigerator and we plugged it in, and then we saw it was very hard to stay in business. But sure enough, soon enough, we will go back into that business, and then we
So
can just.
how do you distribute? Who buys?
Right
your
now, it's
steaks?
just wholesale. You sell it directly to a packing house.
Oh,
so
okay,
basically to like the big companies, and then they make their money. So like us, we get paid like 80 cents a pound, 90 if we're lucky. They get paid $8, $9 a pound.
Oh, damn.
So they make the money. So
Yeah.
you can imagine. But one day, that will happen once we put our energy in that.
Y luego también in the same place you also you have a wedding business, the suits and dresses and things like
I'm
that.
a
right?
designer, so I design special dresses for my clients, and I get to, just create. I've been doing that for 23 years, so it's fun to design and to sell my designs.
Damn, so you've been in 23 years. You started in that kind of business.
Yes.
Damn, so you've seen thousands of weddings and you just
Yes. Well, I worked for big corporate America for the first 15 years. I designed for Macy's and Nordstrom's and Sears and Kohl's and
Oh, cool.
JCPenney's and Windsor's. And I got to travel all over the world to get inspired. I've been to Paris many, many times, to London, to a lot of places, New York, with my career. So before I
How do you get in the industry? How did it all start?
I always wanted to. I always knew I was a creative person. Like I used to draw a lot when I was like 7 years old, 8 years old, and I would create dresses out of like newspaper. And I don't know why. I would just be really into clothing. And then as I got older, I went to high school, and there was a fashion design program there. And once I learned that, I told my parents, like, I want to be a designer. Like, this is it, right? So I went to school, and then I made it to like the third year program. And then after that, I just worked for different, corporate companies that basically opened my life and my eyes to like all these opportunities, and I got to see the world. I feel like I've lived 80 years already.
I know, it's
I
like
feel
you
like
have
I lived so many
businesses.
things, and I never thought I would own a property or a rancho, or I would become like a farmer, but I absolutely love it. I
Yeah.
think it's amazing. I come from migrant workers. My parents worked in the fields. I'm so proud of that. And to know that, now I get to own a little piece of land where, we can grow our dates and now help our community, because we are creating these amazing
Yeah.
events. To me, it's everything, right? It's all kind of like I always wonder, like, why did I have to, my husband and I, why did we have to own this land? And I always think, well, because God wanted us to fight for our property and for all the ranchos. That's why I really believe that.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know the path that life takes you, and when you're in it, you're in it.
You're in it, you're in it. I always think that. I'm like, why did it have to happen? And because God only knows I do not accept unfairness. That's the one thing. When someone's not fair to my community, I will be loud.
Yeah.
I will scream. I will shout, but I will not let my community down. And that's what I've been doing. In a very respectful way, I said no.
And how do you manage your time dealing with so many different businesses and doing this? And I know you have a family and you're
Kids
going
and
to soccer. I know, just
It
nonstop.
just, I can compartment all my different businesses, and I can focus on one thing at a time. I do pray a lot, and I really think that that's the key to success. My huge faith that I have. That's the reason why I stand every day and I fight so hard, because I'm not afraid. And I feel that I'm not afraid because I know that my intentions are great. My intentions come from my heart. And because I fight for the right reasons, I'm not afraid. I'm emotional,
Yeah.
but I'm not afraid. And I feel that, like I said, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than one rancho. This is for all of us, for our community,
No, I mean, you're doing a lot of work because I see it. And I don't know if other people, they tell you, but you do a lot of good work.
Thank you.
And I've seen you're involved in community events besides fighting for the ranchos. But yeah, it's inspirational too, because I'm trying to juggle a couple businesses, not as many as you and not as big as yours, but then I'm like, damn, she's badass. So
Thank you.
I just want to give you your flowers because you do a lot of good
Thank
work.
you.
And how do you, because I feel like everything's been, like you said, maybe you didn't envision where you're at right now 15 years ago, but now what does the future look like for you? Do you have a goal that, like, right now I'm not doing this, but maybe in the future I want to do this, or my next step in the next 15 years is going to be this? Do you have like something that you want to reach to at one point?
Yeah, I sometimes, I read about different people that started when they were 50, like Martha Stewart. She started her business when she was 50. I wonder, what am I going to start when I'm 50, right? I'm 42 and I still have, God willing, a long life, if God permits. I don't know. We have plans. We're going to be building this pool house at our property. God willing, in May we start, and that will be like a really new, cool thing that we're adding to our event center. We are going to, just grow from there. Who knows what God has for us? I never thought I would be in this position. I mean, I never thought I was gonna be fighting this hard.
Yeah.
I never thought I would cry this much. I never thought I would have so much emotion, for my community, and I'm here. So only God knows what will happen in 10 years. We have big dreams. My husband and I think of buying more land and maybe building homes and doing big things, or ways that we can help our community. We just opened our nonprofit just 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
So we want to be able to give back to our community. That's something
nonprofit,
that,
what is that?
Our nonprofit is an opportunity to give back. So we can choose who we want to give back money to. And that to me is real success.
Yeah.
That to me is like the ultimate goal. Like, I can't believe it. Like, we got to do that. So now we're like in a position where we can help a little more, and every year we'll be able to help more. So that's maybe we're going to be doing events for nonprofits to like raise money to give back and things like that. So that's really exciting.
What's the name of the nonprofit?
It's called Rancho 51 Foundation.
Oh, sick. Yeah, just an on brand.
Yes.
And then that Rancho location is super sick. Like, you're so close to the festival. You're pretty centered. Is that a location that you already knew in the past before you purchased it, or were you guys just looking to see what was available at the time, 2018?
Yeah, we were looking for a property for the campground, and that's something that we went to the county and we asked them. We took our business plan and we showed them, oh, well, we want to buy this land. We found this land that's perfectly, located where we want it to be. We want to have events. We want to have campground. And they're like, absolutely. As long as you stay under 200, you can have events. And we were like, okay, we were told by everyone.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, 2 years later, or 3 years, the punch in the stomach came for not just me, but every rancho. And some ranchos got their bad news after, maybe a year after, and some were like, oh no, it's not gonna happen to me, it's only you guys, because you guys are doing Coachella. And we're like, no, Coachella is the only thing that's permitted, because you pull a very expensive permit during that. The problem were the events, the quinceañeras. Sure enough, all those ranchos that were doubting, they started getting these noise fines. We received over $40,000 of noise fines about a year ago, and we fought for that, and they took them off too. So,
and noise, because after a certain time, or just like, let's say the wedding's happening at 9 p.m. and then people are calling in, or how does that work?
No, we were getting fines at 6 p.m. in the afternoon, and then evening, like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Like one, I think it was like March 20 something of last year. Like, I think 15 ranchos got a fine. We were like, oh my God, who could have called every single rancho? And like, we couldn't believe it.
That's crazy.
But it was insane. Like, there was like, La Banda wasn't even playing at that time. It was like probably the Vals or something. And we all got fined. So that just kept us more united. So we all went and fought for our fines to the county. And not only are we going to be able to get a new ordinance for the ranchos, a new law, we also fought so they could create a new noise ordinance, because we said that ordinance is not fair. So we went to fight one time.
What was the current?
The current noise ordinance is ridiculous. You get a call, that's code enforcement, and they go check with their ear. And if they can hear any noise at any level where they go to that place, they're going to fine you $500 the first fine, $700 the second, and $1,000 the third time. After that, it's $1,000 every single time.
Yeah.
And then they shut you
with
down.
their
or
ear,
whatever.
but that's so subjective.
But right. So that's where I couldn't believe, and that's what we kept saying. So about 70 of us went to the county, about 30 of us spoke. So we took like hours and hours of their time, but we kept the same message. We're like, how is this fair? If you get a younger guy to come in here, he's gonna hear it louder, or he's gonna hear, or let's say someone has an ear infection, they're not gonna be able to hear right. It's just
doesn't make
sense.
It's like the King of England when before measurements or like rule, you just had whatever the king's hand was. It's like
exactly. It doesn't make sense. So I said, why don't you guys use a decibel system? That way we have a decibel system outside our property. We can read it with the machine, and then we have something like a third party read it. So if something's going too high, we can get a text message. We can actually control our noise, but there's no way to control it. If the neighbor is upset, like there's been neighbors that are harassing our ranchos. They want money. They don't care about the noise. They want the money. We tell them, don't worry about the money. Make your own money. Open up your own rancho. Have events, right? But this is happening. It's happening more than you can imagine.
Just haters, like always.
Exactly.
How do you deal with haters? Do you have any haters?
We do. We have one. We confronted. We spoke to him, and we told him exactly how it was gonna go down. Like, we are not gonna back down. We didn't back down to the county. We actually work with the county. We didn't. We worked with Manuel. We're not gonna be afraid of a person that is being unfair, especially when that neighbor, I have him recorded, and he said, give me the money and I won't call the code enforcement. So,
he
and I
told
just
you that?
send the
That's-
video to everyone, right? I even send it to Telemundo. Like, come on, let's play this, you know?
Man, that's just put them on blast.
I will, yeah. I don't mind at
You
all.
don't mind? It's
At
just,
all.
they don't want
If
to play
someone
fair.
hurts you, then you don't worry about them, right? If someone tries to hurt your family, your business, then why do you care, right? Like, in the end of the day, we can be very respectful, we can be polite, but we can also be strong. And that's where we need to be. We need to be strong people, strong community, where we stand for each other and say, like, again, this is family. This is culture. These are our traditions
Yeah.
that we're fighting for. And no one's going to come and stop us. We can be respectful and we can coexist. That doesn't mean that I'm not lowering the music. Absolutely, I'm going to lower the music. Absolutely, I'm going to be respectful to that one neighbor that's upset. Am I going to give him money? Absolutely not. But I'm going to be respectful and I'm going to hit like the correct decibels. And as soon as they give us more guidance, we'll do that. And as a community, we'll learn about our music and our sound. But we're not going to just let it roll over, you know?
Yeah, no, that's good because there's people, it's just that people just don't understand, you know, and they're trying to always extract something or they hate without understanding or they want something to benefit them because they see you doing good.
Exactly.
So they want to do themselves. So it's kind of
And
just human nature.
Right. And it's like sometimes they don't understand our culture. And it's like
Yeah.
they might think it's just a random party, but it's not. It's family. It's like you said, we've been waiting 15 years to have this party, right?
Yeah.
I had my niece's quinceañera May 4th. It was one of the happiest days of my life. And we waited 15 years to have this quinceañera. You know, did we respect the noise? Absolutely. Did we have any issues? No. Like, because we care, right? And we
Yeah.
all, like, I think as a community, we're all going to learn to lower our music to where we can be happy, but not kill the neighbors, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like I think we'll get there. You know, we're going to get there. All of us together. All the DJs, the bandas, we're all going to get to that point.
And then, do you have any advice for someone that wants to start their business? Let's say they're thinking like, man, I kind of want to start a business, but I'm kind of scared. How would you like somebody new piece of advice?
Honestly, there's no reason to be afraid of business or to start a business because, it sounds like cliche, but like, what can happen? Like, you end up in the same place that you're at. If you take a risk, you can grow. You can change. But if you don't take a risk, you're going to stay where you're at. And there's probably nothing wrong with staying where you're at. Before I started these businesses, I started other businesses that I was like, okay, they didn't really work.
What else did you do?
Like I've started like many little like clothing brands, you know, but I didn't see the margin, like the profit margin. So I was like, this is not going to work, you know, things like that. Because it's easy to like say I want to start a business, but then you look at the numbers.
You fantasize about the potential, but then
you look at the numbers,
down,
you're like, oh, this is not working out. And so you have to know also like,
how do you know when to pull the plug on an idea?
I would say do your numbers a little bit, you know, like if you think your numbers make a little sense, that's great. But if you are really passionate about something, let me tell you, you will be successful. Like if you have a dream and you really like in your heart, you just know it, and you know, I would say pray on it and go for it. Like, we bought our property and everyone would have bet like, no, you know, this is not a smart move. Like this, you know,
Yeah.
How could you buy a property? You're only 36. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's $1 million or close to $1 million. And so what? Like, you take the risk, you know your numbers, you know what you're getting yourself into. And, you know, we did it. And I'm so grateful I did. And I'm grateful for a lot of reasons, but the number one reason why I'm grateful for is because we're fighting for this Rancho movement.
Yeah.
That's the number one reason why I'm grateful that God gave me this opportunity, because I always say like, this land is really not my land because it's, you know, whoever steps on it, right? Es una tierrita prestada por el tiempo que yo esté aquí.
Sí.
Who knows who's going to be the next owner? But let's leave that behind. We're going to get to leave an ordinance for life in that land that we can give to our kids. We can sell to someone and say like, continue doing events for our community. Continue giving, you know, the best prices you can, and continue making families happy, you know, memories.
And where could people that are interested in helping out, joining the fight, where could people How can people get involved to help you out?
On the Instagram, it would be the best way. It's called Ranchos and Vendors United. So it's Ranchos _ and I think Ranchos _ Vendors United, and we'll put it on this, right?
I'll put a description.
So that's the best way. We're gonna have for the final vote, and I guess you can ask me that, but so you can find us on Instagram on Ranchos Vendors United.
Ranchos and Vendors United, and then the voting. So could people just show up to the hearing, or you have to be involved with you to show up there? Or how does that work?
So that's this is it, right? Like after 3 years working now with the county, fighting for the noise ordinance, staying in business, and Temecula shutting down all these ranchos, us still in business, like after all these tears and hard work and time, this is it. The final vote is here, June 25th at 9 a.m. in Riverside County on 4080 Lemon Street. That's it. Se acabó. Once we get that vote, we have to get 3 votes out of 5. If we get 3 votes out of 5, the law will be created, will be stamped, will be done. Once we get that, all the ranchos can apply for permits. It's kind of like if you want to be a barber, you go get a permit, you get your license. Now we're going to get to do that. Once we get to do that, that's it. We don't have to worry about we're doing something that they're gonna shut us down tomorrow. They're gonna fine us. No more. And that ordinance, that law will be for life. The moment we get that permit, that's it. We're not gonna have to go and get it every single year. It's a one time. So I want all the ranchos to get it. I want it to be where all our families are, thriving, and all our ranchos have events, the people that want it, that they market and they are successful. I want everybody to be successful. I want, all our quinceañeras to have opportunities to have their quinceañera, because not everybody can afford a country club.
Yeah.
You see, that's the reason.
And it's way cooler at Rancho. Country club quinceañeras it's just too boring. It's too white.
Well, it is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. But Ranchos, I think our prices, all the ranchos have different prices. They offer different things. We're a lot more flexible. You can bring your own food, your own drinks. And it's, every rancho is beautiful. Some ranchos are more Western. Some ranchos have horses. Some ranchos have more grass like ours. Some ranchos have different things that we don't, but it's a beautiful thing. That's why they fit every event differently. So I think we all have beautiful ranchos, and we have a beautiful community, and that's why we can all be successful and coexist.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and definitely inspiring story. So make sure you guys check her out on Instagram. We'll put all the links in the description. Make sure you guys follow the story. And then thank you, Claudia.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.